Hello and welcome to this video. It's a kind of trailer and explainer for subsequent videos I'm hoping to make, and the topic is to do with me being on a musical journey whilst also losing more and more of my hearing. My hearing's on a different trajectory. This may seem like a very strange endeavour, and I would agree with you, and in the past I personally have silenced myself as soon as I knew that my hearing was going, and my hearing loss is linked to Waardenburg Syndrome Type 1. That's a condition I have. It's the reason I've got white hair. I've been losing pigment in my eyes, hair and skin since I was 7 or around that age. That's when I first started noticing little white hairs. You may be thinking, why bother? I do understand, but I am 46, I have a PhD, and I have thought this through, and this is just something that I want to do. It might end up being a massive waste of time, but it's my time to waste. So if your opinion is this is very silly, please don't at me sharing that opinion. Just scroll on by and I'll be here doing my thing, and you don't have to watch my videos. Thank you. Three challenges that I have faced so far. It's nice to talk about things in threes, particularly since I'm from Wales and that seems to be quite a Welsh thing. The first thing is that when I go to open mics, I sing and people seem to like my voice, except for when I try and sing with someone else, if they are playing an instrument or singing. It seems to, I seem to be a split second out. Which makes a lot of sense, because when my father was my age, he was diagnosed with something called auditory processing disorder. And now there might be people out there going, oh, that doesn't exist, or it's a disputed condition, it's ill-defined. Yeah, I know. Like I said, I have a PhD and it happens to be in medically unexplained symptoms in primary care and the communication between doctors and patients with regards to those conditions. So yeah, I already know I'm going to move into the sun. No, that's not great. I'll move out the sun. So yeah, I get it, but it does fit the situation that I'm currently in, where I'm struggling. So I thought to myself, what can I do about that? Maybe I can get one of those nice metronomes like Morgan Freeman has at the beginning of Seven, you know. I'd really like one of those. I looked at them. You can get antique ones. They're beautiful things. However, that would be hearing the clicks, wouldn't it? So I thought, I wonder if anyone's made a vibrating metronome. And sure enough, they have. And here is one of them. I have bought one. It is by Soundbrenner, and I bought it a good couple of years ago, I think, and the technology frightened me. I'm not very good with technology or computers or anything like that, so I kind of left it in the box and kept thinking I'll get round to it, and then I was busy and distracted. But recently I decided to get it out. It's a really lovely thing. You can attach it to your arm like this with like a watch. There's another strap where you can put it around here, and another one where you can put it on your chest. So I'm going to be experimenting with that going forward and seeing if that can just help me in some way. I guess I'll have to get into the specifics of various speeds and that kind of thing. Luckily, because I've been going to all the open mics, I have lots of musical friends now who can help me with that. The second thing is that the pitch of my voice, I don't have no idea how I'm even pitching my voice at all, to be honest, but it seems to be that I'm in my own little key. So one of my friends listened to a recording I sent him, and he said, well, you're singing this in C sharp, and it would be easier if it was in D. So I'm guessing, you know, actually trying to play 99 Red Balloons, D is actually the first chord for that. I mean, again, it makes sense, because what I'm hearing is something different to what everybody else is hearing. I have Waardenburg Syndrome Type 1, and even with hearing aids, it's very difficult to correct for, because hearing aids are generally set up for like the whole carpet effect. So hearing the high frequency through mid frequency to low, but it's actually low frequency that I've lost, and the high frequency is more normal. So my high frequency is very good, but my low frequency is bad. So it's a kind of a tricky situation. So I'm working on that at the moment. And so obviously I'm not going to be the kind of person who can just tune an instrument by ear. I'm very, very jealous of people who can do that. somewhat ironically, I used to play better by ear than reading music. I do have also special educational needs, probably linked to the seizures that I had when I was younger, and the various drugs that I had to control the condition, to stop me having the seizures, because obviously they can be quite serious and even life-threatening. And I had that at a time where I was growing and developing, my brain was growing and developing. So anyway, so that is then linked to the number 3, which is, so I went to the guitar show thinking I'll get just a normal guitar, although they were quite hard because I have large breasts, and I found it quite hard to hold dreadnought guitars. And then in the middle of the guitar show in Crewe, I saw this lovely instrument, and I went up and said, gosh, what's that? And he said, no, it is a full guitar, it's a backpacker guitar by Martin. And what do you know, it's like the perfect fit. And I really love this guitar. I bought the strap at the guitar show as well. These are actually seat belts that are then being embroidered, which I love, because I like the whole sort of recycled element. And then I wanted to learn how to restring the guitar, because obviously you can learn online how to tune a guitar. You can buy tuners. There are a lot of apps that have tuners on them. I don't find them as accurate as the ones where you actually add them to the instrument and it's sort of attached. Personally, I find it much easier to follow the ones that are attached, little instruments. However, Paul in the music place in Wrexham helped. He was showing me, he said, right, let's snip the strings off. Here are the fresh strings. This is how you put them on, and it has to do with these little things here. And I was merrily using the winder and winding the string while he was holding court with all the rest of the people that were in the music shop having a gossip. And I had the tuner, and I was going da, 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 and I got it to E. It said E, and I showed it to him, and he said, no, that's not right. It's not in tune yet. You've got a long way to go. So it turned out that I couldn't even discern which octave I was in. And which, to be honest, if I'm perfectly honest, I think this string, the E2, I think they're in, is out of my hearing range. I think I'm kind of aware of it strumming, but kind of aware of it and maybe aware of it somewhere here rather than actually hearing it properly. That was a bit of a blow, because it wasn't the first time it had happened either. You could say, oh, I was maybe nervous, I was in the shop. It had happened when I tuned the guitars up for my friend had come, Daniel Lloyd had come to the art studio to take part in a podcast, and I'd laid out all of my instruments for him to see, because he's a musician, and he got to one of the guitars and was like, ooh, and like whew, put it right round. So what to do with that situation? The problem is, of course, not going to be, this guitar is now in tune, and it's not going to go that far out of tune, not unless it gets knocked. Problem is, though, how do I restring my guitars and get it so that they're in the right octave? And so I went back to Google and said, is there a tuner that shows the octave as well as the note? And sure enough, there is. And what would you know, it's also by Soundbrenner. It's the app that I had just downloaded to go with the vibrating metronome, and it shows the octave as well as the note. It's quite hard to get. I felt like there's just no way it's so precise. It was almost as fiddly as a lyre harp, but it will at least help me get to the right octave. Again, this is probably sounding ridiculous to a lot of you, and you've probably all jogged on. If you haven't but are sitting there thinking about making a comment, don't do it. So yeah, that's my musical journey so far. I hope this video may be helpful to other people, maybe people with the same condition as me, or maybe people who just have some form of hearing loss or some kind of challenges, and you're wondering, shall I bother? I would say so, yeah, bother, because it's a lot of fun. And you meet lots of nice people, and who knows, I might release an album.